Becoming a racing driver has never been easier with Castle Combe Circuit. Book your Ards Novice Drivers Training course at the Wiltshire venue today. The easiest and quickest way into competitive on-track action.
Welcome to Castle Combe. My name's Alan Cooper. I'm the Chief Driving Racing Instructor here at this circuit. We're here today to do the Novice Driver Training course, often known as the ARDS course, which is the first way to start off and get your racing driving licence. So, no further ado, let's get on and show you what's involved.
So you've seen the format. Everyone here today passed their tests and now have their racing licence. Who knows? The next time I see them could be as I commentate on them in front of the usual packed house of racing fans here at Castle Combe Circuit. All you need to do to be next is to visit castlecombecircuit.co.uk and select Become a Racing Driver under the Racing tab. Becoming a racing driver is easier than you think with Castle Combe Circuit and Motorsport UK.
Who knows? Could be the next time I see you in front of the packed house. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Combe TV, episode 55. I'm actually going to be in that the Strawford Centre that we saw there tomorrow. I'm hosting the Castle Combe Racing School. But the idea of this evening's show, I haven't got a guest this time, but we'll work on guests after as the winter sort of shutdown goes. We'll get various guests on, I promise. We'll see what we can do. But just to get us in the mood for what we're going to see this weekend, it's finals day, the crescendo of all of our championships, and the Mighty Mini and Super Mighty Mini championships going to be decided this weekend as well. It's going to be a cracker. Oh, it gets me every time in the feels, that one does. I hope it does you guys still as well, just watching that. And it is the crescendo. We've only got one of the championships decided. We've got some classes that have been decided, but only the GTs has been decided. The Formula Fords and the Saloons are yet to reach their climax. So it's absolutely going to be jam-packed. Good evening to you all. Thank you for your comments. First one I'm going to pick up on, by the way, Carl Wheeler says, see you Sunday. No, you won't, Carl. There's nothing happening Sunday. It's all Saturday, mate. I'm there for racing school tomorrow, as in Friday, and then Saturday is the race day. So hopefully you'll be there on Saturday. But Mike Cotton, great to see you. Here's to a good day. Here's to a good day. It's lovely to see you at the last race meet, Mike. Thank you so much. That was so nice. It's lovely to catch up with several of you that have said about the show and what it's meant to everybody, and the feed last year and all that sort of stuff. So thank you so much. Our very own Emma Strawford. Hi, Em. Good to see you. Gerald, hello, mate. Good evening, everybody. Dilly indeed, mate. The wife and daughter are out at the moment. They've actually gone to see, can't believe it, my daughter's getting close to secondary school age. Well, she's actually 2 school years away, but they've got to start looking at them. And we went and saw one 2 days ago. They've gone for another one, and I had to miss out to do the Combe TV. How's that for commitment, eh? Nigel Forrest from up at Alton Park. Evening, mate. I still haven't managed to get up there this year. I'm determined. I am absolutely determined to try and make sure that they allow me to get back up to Alton. They keep booking me for like the double headers and things like that. And I'm determined to get back up to Alton Park. I miss it like mad as well. Kieran Simmons. Hello, mate. Good to see you, bud. Brilliant to hear from you, mate. Hopefully we're going to see you back out on circuit next year. I hope so. Tina Weston, hi Tina, one of our coordinators. Even everyone, let's go racing. Finals day, here we come. 100%. I cannot wait. Okay, that's what Carl's saying. Sorry, Carl. Kids with Cancer Charity Day Sunday. I'll be taking my Mustang GT round. Wow, fair shout, mate. Missed one. Lewis Bird, evening Dawsey, evening Lewis. I'm looking forward to Grand Finals Day. Yeah, I see you're down, but I see your dad's not racing. Well, the entry list I have, there's been amendments, but I haven't managed to get them from the office yet, because obviously it's only Thursday. But I saw your dad isn't down. I know he had an issue, didn't he, on the last one? So lost it coming onto the start, finish straight and into retirement, which is a shame. That's nothing serious, mate. But good to see you're going to be there. Dave Baggy Malpass, hello, mate. Missed one again. Darren Duffield, good evening, sir. You'll be out in your Mini. I see you're on the entry list. That's what I like to see. Keith Rain, our super starter. Good evening to everyone. Roll on Saturday. Absolutely, I can't wait. Keepo, James Keeping, evening or hope for a brilliant day with everyone. I bet you do, mate, don't you? In particular, one of the people that could win the Castle Combe Saloon Car Championship 2021. He's in. I've got to say, he's in the driving seat at the moment, but he's not prepared to accept that just yet because, as we know, anything can happen. And we've had all sorts of stories over the years. So goodness only knows what's going to happen. Right, in terms of the race day Saturday, I've got to address something that I think some people kind of read way more into than was actually the case. There was a post that was put up that said, sadly, the GT Challenge that was due to happen, which is like the standalone race, had to be bidden. There just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough entries, sadly, and that's therefore fallen by the wayside. But what we put in is the open race, which I know a lot of people are going, oh, why can't we have an open race? Because it's the traditional end of season, the finals day event is where, you know, they sort of, we get people from like, I don't know, like the hot hatches or the saloons suddenly throwing some slicks on there and having some crazy fun. That is now back in. So there's nothing, absolutely nothing sinister to it at all. I know that we got some people sort of checking with me going, oh, what's going on? Nothing. There just wasn't enough for it. It was the way it was. I think the GT cars are racing a few other places, things like that. But the good news is it's just been replaced by the open race. And from what I hear, there's some good numbers entering into that one. But we've still got everything else. We've got, obviously, our local championships, the Saloons, the Formula Fords, and the GTs. We've got the Hot Hatch Series are there. We've got Track Attack Racing Club, and that's fabulous, that is. And that includes a whole plethora of trophies, their series in that as well, and that's looking a good grid. We'll go through that in a minute, and it includes quite a few of you. I know if you're watching, quite a few of our drivers are racing in that Track Attack race as well, which is really cool. And we've got the Mighty Minis, which of course includes the Mighty Minis and the Super Mighty Minis. I like that. That is really cool. Yeah, it's that is the crescendo of their championship as well. It's their final rounds this weekend, and both the Mighty Minis and Super Mighty Minis are up for grabs. And we've got a pair of races for those. We all know the minis, the classic minis, are absolutely epic around Castle Combe. It's one of the things that I fell in love with racing, watching the minis going around several of our corners, looking like a dog cocking its leg for a week, basically, with the rear wheel just bouncing up off the curve, looking like a dog having a Jimmy Riddle. So they're there, and as to expected, that's good entry numbers in that one as well. Lewis Bird says that was me with the issue at camp. Yeah, but I thought your dad lost it in front of my commentary box. I could have sworn I saw him get out, not terrifically happy with the car, but maybe I'm remembering things a little bit differently as well. But I remember your issue as well. Glad yours is sorted. Listen, guys, as well as going through we're going to preview Saturday, and we're going to have a look at the entry lists and the permutations for the championships. Let's keep an eye on the drivers that are actually watching tonight. And if any of you have got questions for any of the drivers that you see that are watching, and I'll just quickly reel off some of those. If drivers that are watching tonight from any of our championships or series, just put in yeah, I'm here, just so we can see which drivers are here. If you've got any questions for those drivers, and any questions for me, ask the commentator as well. If there's anything that you just sort of like fancy knowing, if you've often wondered how, what happens at certain times, how they're feeling, how they're, what have they done, what are they going to do? Any questions at all, just throw them in as we go through. It'll be good to check that one out. James Keeping's put, he's here. And he said he might regret saying that. No, Lewis Bird, we know, is here. Darren Duffield, we've seen, is here as well. Obviously in the minis and the hot hatches. I'll even include Kieran Simmons. I know we haven't seen him this year, but many of you will remember the black Fiesta that he races. He pedals very, very quickly indeed. Oh, good man, Jordan. Hello, mate. Good to see you're here. Jordan Kernow's here. Now, I'm going to put this up, but you don't count. Sam Strong, you don't race. You haven't raced at Combe yet. I don't think you've raced here at all, have you, mate? You've got to come and race. Always see my buddy Sam at Brands Hatch, and he's a very quick, and other circuits as well. Pedals BMWs predominantly, very, very quickly, I have to say. And he's a good lad, and always good to catch up with him and Frankie. And of course, your daughter last time as well, weren't you? Opposite my commentary box last time round. But if anybody's got any questions that you kind of go, what happens when I don't get to see, just anything at all. Oh, good man. Tim Perry, Orange Army, he's here as well. Emma Strawford says, well, I'm here, but off duty. So maybe, don't ask Emma questions. He's off duty. This is what I like to see. Kieran Simmons says, I will be back. More goodies arrived today, so it's coming together. Fantastic, mate. I'm so chuffed to hear that. That is really, really good to hear. You have, Sam. Sorry, mate. I couldn't remember whether you had production BMW back in 2017. Goodness me, that's a long time. You've got to find a way to come back and race at Combe, mate. Oh, and I tell you what, here's an interesting one. Even in Baldrick Brian, Gin Master, as he calls me, I don't know what you mean, mate. He's racing next year in the hot hatches. Is that definite, Baldrick Brian? Or is that just a plan as it stands at the moment? Plan stand. But again, somebody who's looking to race in the hot hatches. But as I say, any questions for me, for any of the drivers, just do it. Right, let's have a look at this, okay? If I first of all start with the hot hatches, because there's no championship permutations there, I know you all kind of do your own tabulating of results, but I can't talk about that, as I've discussed with a few of you. I can't get into that. It's a series, so it's up to you. If you're working at points, that's your thing. All being good, Baldrick Brian's going to be out. Good man. Obviously, he's done a lot of banger racing and things like that, and he's going to be out on circuit, hopefully. So, in terms of the hot hatches sponsored by Motul last time round, Darren Duffield confirming he's definitely here as well, so ask away. It was a slightly amended result because we had the 128 car, Bradley First, and the Clio just got a false start, so he got a 10-second penalty, but still finished 10th and 3rd in Class F. And also, I was so busy thinking of everything, I never picked up on this, but it had Sean Gover down as Class A, and we were getting it all wrong. Whereas, of course, he's a Class B car in his number 15 car. It says a Renault Clio, and it's not a Renault Clio. TSL was having a nightmare at the last meet. It was making lots of mistakes, but hey ho. Sean Gover obviously won Class B as well as coming second overall, but Tim Adams won overall, and he again crazy speed in that Honda Civic, finishing 9.5 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Joe Dorrington in third. Tony Cooper was fourth, but second in Class B. Winner of Class E was Owen Hillman this time. Cracking performance there from Owen, to be fair. Class C won by Simon Hughes in his Honda Civic. Class F won by Jonathan Fish in his Clio, with Robert Watson runner-up. His brother sadly had issues, didn't he, from memory? Yeah, Ben Watson had an issue with his identical Clio. Second in Class C was Sean Deacon. Third in Class F, Bradley Thurston, as I say. Third in Class A was Adam Higgins in his Ford KA. And third in Class C was Steve Everson in his Citroen Saxo. Third in Class B was Joshua Harley in the MG ZR. Second in Class E in the Minis was Steve Bracegirdle, and Tim Daffern in the number 78 was third. So I'm just trying to remember what happened, Darren. Remind me, mate. I know you're watching, but I know that you had a huge issue that put you out. It was very unusual, and I know we were looking forward to that. Just quickly checking, Champs here as well from the Saloons. Mark Sutton, I'm here, getting ready to hand over the number 1 to Kipo. Good to see it on another ZR. Looking good, but I know that Kipo's not counting his chickens just yet. Oh, David Campion from Wiltshire College. Hello, sir. Looking forward to the weekend. We have both cars out again. Good. So Wiltshire College got both their cars out again, and I have seen that they are out, which is absolutely brilliant. That obviously being Amelia Vincent in the 174, and Alex Bewley in the 91 Honda Civic as well. So it's great to see that they're both out as well. Keithbo says we'll be cheering on Tony Cooper and Sam Stride in hot hatches, fellow C1 teammates. Absolutely. Oh, hello, Emma, the Formula Ford coordinator. Evening all. See you Saturday. Wishing, oh, crikey, they're all coming in now. Wishing all the Formula Ford drivers the best of luck for Saturday. I thought you might, Emma. Emma Straw says, go Amelia, girl power. Absolutely. Thomas Franklin says, I know what happened to Darren Duffield and have the video footage. Oh, really? I like the sound of that now. Is Darren going to answer then? Come on, Darren. Spill the beans, mate. Here we go. He has spilled the beans. Right. Let's have a look what Darren Duffield. Crank pulley disappeared across the field on the first lap after getting to 4th place in the first 2 corners. Ouch. Well, you're on the entry list, Darren, so I'm assuming that you've got that all sorted, because assuming it's not an optimistic entry, but you are down to be going. But Class A, we've got 4 cars out in Class A. Joe Dorrington, Tim Adams, Craig Tomkinson's back out in his Vauxhall Nova. Really chuffed to see that one back out. There we go. And chuffed to see Darren Duffield's confirmed it's all fixed, so that's cool. And Joe Hathaway, new one on me, although it does ring a bell, but Joe Hathaway out in a Renault Clio in Class A as well. Class B, Sean Govard in his Peugeot 106, not the Clio that TSL bizarrely had him down as. Class C, Julian Ellison, Peter Wilkes, Lewis Bird, Simon Hughes, Dean Clayton, and Sean Deacon. And in Class D, we've got Alex Bewley from Wiltshire College, Lewis Ryder out in a Citroen C1, Backwell Motors. And in fact, that car, I'm guessing, is being shared because somebody else is in the Backwell Motors run Citroen C1 in the Saloons, interestingly, I think it is. And Amelia Vincent, of course, out in the Honda Civic. So that's cool. Class E, Stephen Jensen's back out by the looks of it in the number 69 car. So that'll add to the fabulous battle we're getting with the Mini Coopers. Tim Daffern, James Camphor, Darren Duffield, and he's just confirmed that it has been fixed. And Gary Franks as well out in the 905 Mini. A cracking array of cars in Class F. This is just growing, I think, by the looks of it, the Class F as well. Mike White in his Civic, Julian Fisher, James Dyer Buffton, Ben and Robert Watson, the brothers, and of course that's Doug Watson's sons that we see in the Ferrari and the GTs. Matthew Johnston, Sam Goldstraw, Mark White in his familiar yellow Vauxhall Astra. Hopefully it is, because that had issues, didn't it, at the last meet. Lewis Clark in his Fiesta, Jonathan Fish, Ryan Edgecombe. We don't have a number for Ryan Edgecombe yet. We also have somebody that hasn't been allocated a class or a number, Matthew Herman as well. So, there we go. Jordan Kerno's actually said, good luck to Matthew Herman, the Herminator, on his first ever race in the hot hatch in the Honda Civic FD2. I'm demoted to being on the spanners. Oh, really? Okay. I'm interested to see how that one's going to go. I don't know what class he's in yet, Jordan. I don't know if you know and what number he's going to be running, but I don't have either of those information at the moment. But that'd be interesting to see. Okay. Thank you, Emma, for this. Can we have a belated parish notice wishing Pat Strawford and her twin, Pete Dickox, a happy birthday for Tuesday? Absolutely. And I'm assuming that's the Tuesday just gone, is it, therefore? Happy birthday to two legends, especially of Castle Combe, but two legends of Castle Combe. I hope you have had a wonderful day, assuming it's that way round. And my dad's watching as well. Evening, son, what a difference a year makes. Lovely to hear you previewing the finals weekend following a racing session following the pandemic. Enjoy all and stay safe. Isn't it just? We weren't able to be into it all the same last year, were we? And Jordan says, Class F. No, I need a pen. I'm going to have to check that later. Class F. So it's another one in the Class F. I thought it probably was. And car number 46. So thank you for that one. That was information missing. It was all to be confirmed. There we go. I've got a pen. So what did you say, Jordan? Class F. And he's number 46. There, you can't say this show isn't live, but I'm updating the information as I go. I know it doesn't make good to live TV, does it? But hey, it's all good fun. So that is Hot Hatch. It's a cracking and bumper grid again. There may well be a few more in there for all I know, but that's all I've got at the moment. And I have to say something, by the way. The other issue that some people were kind of getting concerns that it was feeling a little bit different to what everybody was used to. Remember, the stalwart Joe Lukovitz has obviously moved on from Castle Combe, and Steve Weston has picked up the mantle, getting used to the systems. I think we've had some issues with rev up the system, whilst also trying to get used to it, and as well as setting up next year for everything. And it just probably feels a little bit different, but it is no different. Everything is there as it should be. It just needs a little bit of space to get everybody settled and used to doing what they need to do. Incidentally, by the way, I think there's another one that, guys, you really need to get your entries in a lot earlier than you are. There's plenty of you there, as we've seen you do it, but we need to get people getting their entries in earlier. It's an absolute nightmare for Steve at the minute, because I do believe that there is many coming in late, and we need to try and stamp on that. Many of the other racing clubs around the country is that they have a cut-off point, and if you haven't entered, that's it. You lose out. So I don't want us to go that way, but don't shoot the messenger. I'm just sort of saying, if we can get people's entries in earlier, it would be very much appreciated. Goose, one of the Corey Hardcore. Evening, bit late on parade. You are, mate. You are. You got yourself a drink in hand, mate, though. That'll be all right. If my dad's still watching, it'll be Arit. Okay, so I said that the other one that championship has already been decided, and that is the Castle Combe GT Championship, sponsored by Reese Motorsport Insurance. Congratulations, Tony Bennett. He's gone and retained that number one. What a fantastic job. Fair play. Wonderful, wonderful guy. Really is a gentleman of the paddock, and it's been great fun commentating on his son this year as well. I have John Bennett, who is crazy quick. Interesting story, if you didn't hear during the commentary, at the last race meeting, is that his young son, John Bennett, he was racing in the Ginettas and doing incredibly well. Really impressed with his racecraft already. And he stepped into his dad's, we know his Caterham, that is crazy quick, but he jumped in leading into Castle Combe Racing at the last race meeting at Combe, jumped into the car, and he'd also jumped into it at Donington Park. I think it was like the week before. but certainly taking it round Combe, he was instantly down around about the times that his dad was doing and finding bits and pieces of what he could do. He then sort of overlaid the telemetry. That's the word. I couldn't think what I was going to say. He overlaid the telemetry of what he had been doing, as in Tony Bennett, to what his young son, with all this relative inexperience, and looked at where he could just do some bits and pieces. And the next thing is that Tony goes out in qualifying and goes quicker than he's ever been around Castle Combe Circuit. And this is someone we've all cheered him on many, many times. He's been there loads and loads of times. But he just said it was brilliant. It was a breath of fresh air to sort of step away. And instead of having that old not seeing the wood for the trees, he was able to see what his lad was able to do and apply it himself and just find these little bits and pieces to go even quicker. And he has secured the championship for the second year running. Obviously, that includes securing Class B, so fair shout to him. Obviously, it was a shame because we had some serious bad luck for Ollie Bull in that very familiar Flirtations sponsored Vauxhall Tigra with the DNF in the first one where something failed. I forget the details now, I was told, but it failed and it threw it into the infield. They got it sorted, back out, but because of a lack of entries is that he didn't even score many points. So it looks like Ollie Bull's probably going to, if he hasn't already, I'm pretty sure he has already actually secured Class A. But on 42 points compared to Tony's 53, he's going to miss out on the overall championship, which I know is gutting to the whole team. They've been really fighting hard for that, and they keep just missing out. But Ollie Bull, again, up there in second place. In terms of third overall, well, that's still up for grabs because we've got Alex Baldwin in Class E on 18 points. And he looks like he's probably secured Class E, although Lewis Clark is 7 points behind. So if he got 6 points and a fastest lap, he would match him. So that could be interesting. So it's probably mathematically not necessarily fully done, but he's third in the championship standings on 18 points. Jazz Sapra, Jazz is back. We know good old Jazz is going to be back racing his BMW. He's in Class D. Now, he's only 3 points ahead of Martin Thomas. But the entry list I have, Martin Thomas isn't down to race this one. So it could well be that Jazz Sapra has got that sorted. He had a problem in the second race, though, on the 30th of August. So I hope that that's sorted. But he could tie up Class D. And on 15 points compared to 18 for Alex Baldwin, it's not out of the question he could get third overall as well. Tim Woodman, though, is on 24 points in Class B. Alan Hamilton on 18 points as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention those guys first. So Alan Hamilton's on 18. Tim Woodman, who I don't think is on the entry list. No, he isn't. So Alan Hamilton can get himself up into third place overall as well as it stands. Chris Everell on 11, as is Ruben Taylor as well in the Tigra Silhouette. 12 for Doug Watson and Martin Thomas that we've already mentioned, and Lewis Clark on 11. So there's still a couple of bits and pieces to get sorted there. In terms of the entry list, Ollie Bull out in Class A, Tony Bennett, Russell Humphreys out in his Tigra Silhouette. We have seen it a few times, haven't we? But he's back out in that, and Alan Hamilton in his crazy fast Westfield. Doug Watson back out in his Ferrari 458 Challenge. Jordan Billington, great to see him back out in that Lamborghini Gallardo. His company obviously is ME7. That white Lamborghini had an issue. Was it the start of this year or was it last year? I've lost track now of the time, to be honest with you. And it's taken a good while to get that sorted, and it is back. And you could see last race meet, he was having to sort of just take himself back and through his paces again, get himself comfortable. And in fairness to him, he was doing it. So, you know, just before that incident, we'd seen him suddenly putting in fastest lap times that he's ever done. So hopefully he'll get back to that as well. Great to see Keith Butcher was back out in his Audi R8 LMS Ultra, and he's back out this time as well. Jazz Sapper in the BMW. I love the Hell Performance VW Golf of David Tyson, and Mark Sear in his BMW E46 M3, all in Class D. Class E, Alexander Baldwin. So actually, I was talking about Lewis Clark isn't going out in this. I did see him on an entry list for something else, but he's not going out in the GTs by the look of it. I love this. Number 21, Dominic Shepherd's back out in his Audi Super Tourer GT. Those of you who watch, you'll know that it's just a wonderful car. It's absolutely brilliant. No Lucky Carer this time, sadly, in his GT3 Lamborghini Huracan, but what a treat that was with him out there in that car. Really was incredible. Double victory, just lightning quick. Really, really, really impressive. So that's the GTs. Let's step away momentarily to one of the visiting championships. And if we look at the Mighty Minis and the Super Mighty Minis, of course, and I've just seen, by the way, is that Tony Cooper has said, sitting this one out, James, keeping as Peugeot is for sale. I forgot that, is that Tony Cooper's silver, we all know it's silver with the day glow yellow flashes on it. That car's up for sale. He's already got a Honda. Some people are saying he's gone to the dark side, but there's too many Honda drivers here. I'm only joking. Yeah, he starts testing the Honda next month, and they've already bagged Class B. Bagged Class B. Remember, there's no actual championship, but I know what he's talking about, and no Concord Awards. Oh yes, sorry. So, and this is another point, by the way. We're not able to obviously do the big awards that was planned originally for last year for the 70th anniversary. Then was going to be 70+1 this year. We just can't have that many people because it was going to be big, really, really big. And it just, as you can imagine, we just can't have that many people all in the same room at the moment. We're so close, and it was, who knows? November, what are we? Two months away, but it's still not feeling like it's completely gone, is it? So that can't happen. Now, that means that it's too late to book another venue to do it. And what I really want people to it was put out there to start throwing thoughts and ideas to my CC Racing Club email address. And I've got very little response actually from people. We need to do it. Now, I've picked this up and I've said, look, we can't do nothing. We have to do something. And one of the ideas that we are currently looking at, and this isn't decided, this is all being discussed, but I want to put it out there and get the drivers and anybody else that would want to come as well, I guess, is to be in the race paddock in February or March time instead. So we've got more time to plan this properly, with a marquee, with heaters, with seats, buffet in Cafe Bar H. The bar will be open in Cafe Bar H as well. And we'll be able to do the awards there and have entertainment, and people can actually stay overnight in the racing paddock. That's the idea. Like you do on the race weekends, stay in your caravans, your campers, your tents, your whatever, stay overnight, but we have a bit of a shindig that I think we can go until midnight with music. We've done it on some of the race weekends, and have a good crack. And obviously there's hotels for people that don't want to stay in the race paddock, but the idea is that we still do something. We have the awards for everybody. We have some entertainment, some fun, a buffet laid on, and what that means is that we can then manage who's going and getting what at the times and things like that. And there's even a discussion that we're going to be having in the board meeting, and I'm just going to put it out there as something that it was Steve Weston's idea, and I think it's a fabulous idea that we need to look at, is maybe even having an open day during the day. And by that, I mean it's also a track day, so all of the racers can take their car out on track and have a bit of a track day, test day, whatever. Conversations can be had with scrutineers, with the officials, with us, anybody, things like that. We can have an open day for all of you as existing drivers, and any newbies that are coming through. So have a think about it, and let me know. It's I'm trying to remember now. What's the email address? I think it's Chris D at CC Racing Club. Let me just make absolutely certain on that one. Here we go. Chris D for Dawes, obviously, at ccracingclub.co.uk. Drop me a line. Any thoughts on that? And I know we're getting, it's great. Emma Brown, first of all, said virtual awards. Hey, look, that's a possibility, but I think the idea is that we'd like to do something in person now, if at all possible. And then Emma went on to say, sounds even better. We'll make the long trip. Emma Strawford said, sounds like a great idea. Pete Spiller, you wimp, Spiller. Tent in the paddock in January or February. I said February or March, mate, so it'll be like balmy, sunstroke and everything by then. Listen, if you've had enough gin or tequila or whatever your weapon of choice is, it'll feel lovely and warm, mate. Don't you worry. In your sleeping bag, snuggled in, you'll be alright. And Tony Cooper says, ace idea, Chris. Thank you. I mean, listen, it doesn't mean that it's exactly what wants to be done. It's an idea that I've come up with, so we can still have our party together. We can, all of you that have fought hard through this season to win your trophies, to win your championships, to win your classes, or in the top three, shall I say, we still get to do all of that awards that I will host at the circuit. And stay there, or carriages back to hotels nearby, whatever it might be. If you live close enough, happy days, you can get carriages to your house, all of those. And I know some people do. Heck, you could charge out your spare rooms, couldn't you, to some of the other races? Hey, I'm stirring now, aren't I? But that's that's the ideas. That's what we want to look at. Right. In terms of the hot hatches, hello, Tomo. Looking forward to seeing the Bonkers Mighty Minis on Saturday. I agree. Will you be able to see him from the assembly area, mate? I hope you do get to see him, because the entry list does look really, really good. That's could you read that? That's all I'm doing. No, I'm only joking. The Mighty Minis, which of course are the slightly smaller engined ones. We've got Mark Price, Paul Hollett, Graham Shepherd, Susie Inch, Mark Grover, Dan Hayward, Matthew Baker, Robert Bryan, Ahmed Shaharabani. I better practice that for Saturday. Sorry, Ahmed. Bryn Moore Pierce, Lizette Ogborn, Joshua Ogborn. So that's all in the Mighty Minis. In the Super Mighty Minis, so the slightly quicker ones, Ian Slark, Anthony Lucas, Steve Rideout, Stuart Coombs, David Kirkpatrick, Nev Kirkpatrick, Mark Ditchburn, Martin Hathaway, Alex Comis, David Burns, Chris Moore, Greg Jenkins, Paul Ogborn. I mean, it's just fabulous, fabulous grids. And in terms of the championship standings, as it stands at the moment, in the, let me just check which one's which. Ian Slark is in the Super Mighty. So in the Super Mighty Minis, Ian Slark is leading the way on 280 points at the moment, with Steve Rideout on 223. Stuart Coombe on 205.8 and 203.1. I have no idea how they've got these 0.1s and everything, but not for me to get involved. Dave Burns in fourth. Bearing in mind, you're talking over 30 points for a win. So it's tight. I mean, Ian Slark's probably got it to lose as it stands at the moment in the Super Mighty Minis, but it is going to be down to the wire. And it's a double header, don't forget. So there's still plenty of points to play for. In the Mighty Minis, Dan Hayward's leading the way, 350 points over Matt Baker on 255. So that is, again, looking like he's probably won it. But, it's a double header. There's still a lot to play for. And, all sorts of scrutineering things afterwards. Mark Price, 172.1 and 143.1. Lizette Ogborn in fourth. So it's going to be interesting, that one as well. Tomo says, me and my pink socks should be able to see some of the action. I know, mate, those pink socks put me off from the commentary box. I can see them down in the down in the assembly area. Oh dear. Tim Perry says, I'm so looking forward to seeing them and Flag Marshal at post one. Oh, good man. Definitely bring on the minis. Jed Doyle, dilly, mate. Thanks for joining us, buddy. So that's the Super Mighty Minis and the Mighty Minis. If we have a look now at the Saloon Car Championship. Now, Adam Preble got a great victory in the last race meet. And Alex Kite came back in second. Now, we thought there might have been an issue late on in the race, but it was more kind of just sort of toned it down a little bit. Tony Hutchins in the almost identical Audi TT finishing third place. But Class B, a win for Neil Greenland. Class C for James Keeping, as we know, from Ben Hindor and Lee Waterman. Class D, Anthony Weeks from Mike Good. I mean, there's your boy band right there, isn't it? Anthony Weeks and Mike Good. And Nick Mizzen. Hey, Nick Mizzen should be in the boy band as well. Let's not kid ourselves. So he finished third in that. Jack Bolton was second in Class B. Talking about the saloons, here is Matt Coyle, the coordinator. Good evening, everyone. Saturday is going to be epic. Absolutely. The Saloon Car Championship, sponsored by Samco Sport. It is going to be incredible. In terms of the championship standings, well, James keeping on 76 points at the moment, leading Class C. In second place in the championship, Adam Preble on 49 points and Alex Kite on 45. So that is, oh no, sorry, I missed that. Obviously Ben Hindle, yeah, 57. And Mike Good on 68. Sorry, I need to look a little bit closer. Incidentally, by the way, Jed says, Flag Marshal at post 5, but waiting on PCR test results. Oh, mate, sorry to hear that. Fingers crossed for you, buddy. Definitely. It'd be good to see you there. Yeah, so Mike Good, he's going to be hoping, and of course, well, that's not going to help him. As it stands at the moment, Mike Good's not on the entry list. Now, I'm assuming you're one of those late entries, Mike Good, because I can't believe you're going to miss this. You're sat there on 43 points. All right, it's, 68 points. 43 was Anthony Weeks. 68 points compared to James keeping 76. And you want to secure second because Ben Hindle's on 57 at the moment. So I'm assuming that you're just a late entry boy band, and you will be there. But that is how close it is. Class D for Mike Good on 68 points. Class C for James Keeping on 76 points is leading the way. And also in Class C, it's great to see the fight there, is Ben Hindle on 57. Also wonderful to see last year's champ is actually sat at the moment third in Class C as well. So he's still up there at the pointy end, which is wonderful to see, to be fair. Simon Thornton Norris is back in Class B, and his nemesis in the same cars. I don't think his nemesis is out. No, the Mitsubishi Colt of Simon Thornton Norris is, but Neil Greenland's not in at the moment unless it's a late entry, but he had an issue with that car last time round, so we'll have to wait and see. Adam Preble on 49 points to Alex Kite on 45. So not only for the overall championship, but for Class A honours, which we know is a big honour because these are the super powerful cars. But 49 to 45, there's just 4 points in it with one race to go between those two. The mighty Vauxhall Astra of Adam Preble and the crazy quick Audi TT of Alex Kite. Of course, Tony Hutchins back in the mix as well there. Don't think, no, Gary's not due to come out. I don't know whether that means he's racing somewhere else as well at the minute. But he's sort of like gone for just something a little bit different this year where there's actually cash prize for him. So I kind of get that. But that championship is really coming down to the wire, and it's going to be incredible. In terms of the entry list, Class A, Tony Hutchins, Adam Preble, Paul Combe back out in his Volkswagen Golf TDI, Peter Elliston in his Golf GTI, Alex Kite in the TT, Dave Spiller, of course, out in his Mini Cooper. Grant Motorsport are going to be busy again, aren't they? Simon Thornton Norris, Joe Dorrington out in his Civic, and Jack Bolton in a Mark V Golf run by Grant Motorsport as well in Class B. Class C, Mark Sutton, James Keeping, Roger Good to see Roger back out again, Ben Hindle, Stuart Hignall, James Blake in his MGZR, and Lee Waterman in his MGZR, and in Class D, Anthony Weeks, Nick Mizzen, and Charles Atherton in the Citroen C1, the Backwell Motors that I was talking about earlier. So that's back out in there. I do suspect there's a few late entries on that one, and guys, please come on, coming into next year, we need to try and address that one if we can. Get you on entered a little bit sooner. Before I do the final championship, just to go into the Track Attack Racing Club, which includes the Tricolore Trophy for French cars, Nippon Challenge for the Japanese, Deutsch Marks, which of course is the Deutsch cars. We got classic Volkswagen, GTs, just a whole raft of things in this where they've all got trophies, their own thing. We have Tony Hunter, Ken Lark, one of my favourite drivers of all time. If any of you have missed it, is that he is just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and he just doesn't seem to stop at any point. James Keeping says, up the MGZRs. I get you. Oh, thank you, Andy. Andy Abrams says Gary's at Snetterton pre-03 touring cars. I knew it would be within that championship. I've just lost track of where it was. So thanks, Andy. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, Ken Lark will be out in his Corrado. Andrew Dean in a VW Vento. Chris Adams in a VW Golf GTI. Then we got Matthew Hollier, Michael Bowl, one of our own, the Bristol driver in his Integra. Michael Bland out in the lime green Peugeot 306. I'm assuming it's still lime green because, of course, we saw him race for a while at Castle Combe. He's going to be out in this one. Nick Gwinnett, another one, the Southampton driver in his Clio. We've seen him a few times in the hot hatches. Tony Markham and it says Joseph Dorrington. I'm assuming that's our Joe Dorrington that we know about, but it does say Joseph Dorrington on their entry list. Matt Anderson in his 206 GTI Cup. Stuart Cheesman, in a Clio. A 306 GTI of Chris Bassett. Steve Fuller in a 206 GTI. Paul Rice in the Clio. Charlie Heatley in a Mini Cooper S. Carl and Will Powell, the Bath drivers, so some local talent there in their Peugeot 206 GTI Cup cars. Donald Dewar from Dunfermline, he's coming a long way in the Volkswagen Golf Mark 1. Adam Croft in his 205 GTI, 206 GTI for Sam Watley. Robert Buckland in the Clio. Saxo, Chris Bicknell. Good to see the Bicknells back out again. Tim Mole, still in his Mark 1 Golf. Crikey, I commentated on Tim Mole in his Mark 1 Golf many moons ago, and he's still going strong. David Clark in his Renault 5 GT. Wow, a Renault 5 GT Turbo is going to be out in this. David Clark. Andrew Mitchell in his 206 GTI. Alex Kite is out in his VW Vento VR6. Now, I have to tell you, I've been in the passenger seat of that one, and it is mental. We know the driver is as well, but that car is just mental. And so I'm looking forward to that one. Rich Hockley, I tell you what, that is one of the quickest drivers I've commentated on. He's out in his Civic. Such a rapid car, such a rapid driver, and a character as well, I tell you. Our very own Sean Govard, of course, is out in his Peugeot 106 GTI. Kevin Horton, a 206. Ryan Cook, Swindon driver. I'll wave just in case he's anywhere near my house here. In his Mini Cooper, and Mark Davies in his 206 GTI. Absolutely bumper grid and very varied grid, and I love the sound of that one. Andy Abrams says, how do I know he's in my class? My first outing in the time Type R. Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, because you sold the beam, haven't you? Did I see that? Ah, good man. Owen Hillman. We said about what a great job he did in the first race. In the hot hatches last time. He'll be there. Late entry. Mate, you've got to sort that out, Owen. Get yourself in there. Is his stepdad going to be there? Is Neil going to be out in that one, or is there still the problems with the car? But good news that you're going to be there, Owen. I'm glad to hear that. Gerald Howe says, for all who look at the timetables, version 3 is available on the Racing Club website. It is. Go to ccracingclub.co.uk and click on the event, and you'll then see all the downloads, the entry lists, which I'm assuming will go up tomorrow. At the moment, there is a version 3 of the timetable. Other than the GT Challenge being swapped for the open race, I'm not sure what else changed, but I think there's all sorts of jiggery-pokery. I know that there was some of you that were getting a little bit concerned by the fact that you were looking to do the hot hatch and the track attack. Don't panic. There's meat, there's flesh in there, timing-wise, that there can be delays if it needs to be, just to get everybody sorted, turned around and back out. Do not panic. It's going to be a fun day. Everybody's in. Do not worry that it's back-to-back. It's not an issue whatsoever. Last but by absolutely no means least is the Castle Combe Formula 4 Championship, sponsored by Premier Financial Management. Thanks again to Premier Financial Management for the support. And on the last race meeting, it was Ben Mitchell took the victory. I mean, it was a rather rapid race, brilliantly together. Sadly, we had somebody dumped all the way round, and they took a little while. The drivers that were okay with it were ones that kind of like switched to treat it like it was wet. But there was a few people that got frustrated that it was able to keep going. But there we go. That is what it is. But it led, from a spectator perspective, it was thoroughly entertaining, and I know that we can't be selfish for that, but it was brilliant race throughout. Tom Mills was so impressive in the early stages of that race, really, really good. Of course, Kevin Mills' son, one to watch out for the future, definitely. He's such a prodigious talent, and I think we're going to see a lot more from him. He finished third. Luke Cooper got the second place, just catching up on a couple of bits and pieces, by the way. Sam Tompkins says, I'll be out in my Formula Ford. I know, I've got that on the list, mate. I did see that one. Sam Tompkins in the Ray GR14 was testing today. First ever driving Formula Ford. Used to race Hot Hatch in 2019. I knew I recognised the name, Sam. I can't wait, mate. Looking forward to that one. I'll have to sort of try and catch up with you in the paddock and just get a bit more information there. So well done, mate, and look forward to that. Rightly so. Tomo says, congrats to Nathan Ward on the Class B title. Yeah, Nathan Ward has already wrapped up Class B. Richard Higgins has wrapped up Class C, as far as I'm aware, and Bob Higgins. So that's impressive. We got 2 Higgins taking titles, has wrapped up Class D as well. So those ones are sorted. Class A and overall are far from sorted. There is a lot to sort out at the moment, and we'll wait and see. Oh no, I've just seen. Oh no, Craig Tompkinson, you heard me earlier get excited about the Vauxhall Nova. Found a big crack in my clutch cover today and it can't be replaced quickly, so have withdrawn my entry. Gutted. Oh mate, I am gutted. You know I am, because I've said it to you many times. I love seeing that Vauxhall Nova out there. It's such a weapon. It's brilliant. It brings back so many memories of what could have been a much more misspent youth in reality, with something like the Nova GTE and all that lot. Jed says, good to see Sam Tompkins out there, rapid driver. Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to seeing you in a single-seater. So in terms of the overall, now it's interesting because Ollie White, we thought he was going to wrap up the championship at the last race meeting, but he was off. His was COVID, sadly, so presumably he's okay now. I hope you are, mate. And got that all put behind him. We also lost Felix Fisher, although they were at pains to make sure everybody knew that was not COVID at all. That was definitely not COVID. That was, I think it was a stomach upset for Felix. And I was sorry to hear that, mate. But hopefully you're back. You're certainly on the entry list, so we'll see you back there. But Ollie White is leading the championship overall on 160 points, 160. Luke Cooper on 152. 8 points in it, and it's a double header. They've got 2 races on Saturday, and you're talking, 23 points for a win. I mean, it's just incredible. There was just 8 points in going into the final round, the final 2 races for these guys. 122, Ben Mitchell. It's still mathematically in there, but he would need misfortune, wouldn't he? But it's been really impressive as Ben. In terms of Class A, Ollie's on 83 points compared to Luke Cooper's 69. So a little bit more of a job to do there, but still Luke Cooper can get through, of course, the defending champion. And Ben Mitchell in third. Class B, as we say, Nathan Ward's already wrapped that one up. Mighty, mighty impressive. 2 consecutive years. It was good to see him back, and he's gone and secured Class B for the second year running. Paul Barnes in second place on 73, but Sean Macklin's on 62. So that is rather close for Class B, and Sean is out as well. In Class C, Richard Higgins on 92 compared to Steve Bracegirdle's 56. DNF in that last race really didn't do him any favours, but still a double header is... well, actually, I was about to say, interestingly, Richard Higgins isn't racing unless he's a late entry, which he could be. But equally neither Steve Bracegirdle, but wasn't it Steve that dumped all the oil? I can't remember, so maybe that's an issue that hasn't been sorted yet. So James Colburn, who, although that's bizarre, he's on 57 points, but third, compared to Steve Bracegirdle on 56 in second. So something's wrong with that one. I'll have to get that one looked into and check that one. But either way, the point being is that second and third are very close, and James Colburn's there, Steve Bracegirdle isn't. So James has just got to make sure that he finishes, and he'll be there. 44 points for Michael Phillips. That's interesting. So he is there. That could be interesting. Could he sneak himself up into the top 3 in Class C? Bob Higgins, we know, has already wrapped up Class D in that wonderful car of his. Alan Slater in second, Alicia Hamlin in third. And it's only Alicia Hamlin that's actually there, but she's a bit too far behind Alan Slater. So Alan in his Nike has probably already got that sorted out. I may well see Alan tomorrow because he's often one of the instructors at the Castle Combe Racing School that I'm hosting tomorrow. If anybody's around, by the way, I'll be at the circuit in the paddock area hosting the Castle Combe Racing School. So it'd be good to catch up with anybody that is either there setting up ready for Saturday or happens to be passing or whatever else. In terms of the entry list as it stands for my entry list, and as I say, there is additions, but I didn't receive them. They weren't sent through to me. Class A, Luke Cooper, Sam Tompkins, Vincent J, Felix Fisher, Tom Hawkins, Kieran Atwood, Chris Acton, Ben Mitchell, Bob Hawkins, and Oliver White. What a Class A that is. Class B, Paul Barnes, Nathan Ward, Sean Macklin, Samuel Street. Class C is Michael Phillips, Richard Earl, and James Colburn. And Class D at the moment, Alicia Hamlin. So that championship is going down to the wire. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Let's have a look. Lewis Bird asked the question. It's your private conversation, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. So Lewis says, Sam Tompkins, what happened to the Integra you were building? And he says, okay, he's actually saying, yes, come and say hello, have tea and coffee, making facilities at my camp. Good man, thank you. No gin then? No, that's fine. But yes, I remember that, Lewis. I thought he was working on that as well. So qualifying gets underway on Saturday morning at 8:30 in the morning. And it's due to finish. So we've got 7 qualifying sessions, 11:35. We can then get a lunch break, and racing's due to start at 12:35. And we got 10 races. Climax being the open race at the end, but we start with Track Attack first of their 2 races. Tickets, obviously advanced tickets have now closed, but for those of you who are coming to watch, you can still pay on the day and get in. And remember, you're able to come into the race paddock now as well. So anybody else who happens to be spectating, and if you're coming down into the race paddock, hopefully I get a chance to see you. Do give me a nudge if I'm wandering around. I'll look like I'm in the zone because I'm just catching up with people and getting information ready for when we go live on the mic, which will be sort of tail end of the lunch break prior to the start of the race. But I think that's it now, really. It previews what is going to be an incredible climax to the normal season. Obviously, we've still got the Autumn Classic coming up later in the year, but this is the climax to all of these championships here. We'll build up to the Autumn Classic in due course. I'm not commentating on that one. I think I'm covering GT Cup that weekend, or British GT. I can't remember which one it is, somewhere else, which is a shame, but we do have Autumn Classic back, just a one day this year. So it's not the last race meeting, but it is the climax for these championships. We've still got action days to go as well. We've got JDM and Halloween action days still yet to come as well. And of course, we've got Rally Day still yet to happen at Castle Combe. But thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. I've been talking so much when I don't have a guest that I've still got most of my gin left, but probably not a bad thing, eh? Thank you so much, everybody. It's been a pleasure for getting involved, and I look forward to seeing hopefully as many of you as possible on Saturday, and maybe even tomorrow when I'm at the circuit for the racing school. And as I say, don't forget, let me know your thoughts on the awards do as well. James Keeping has said, can I rub your bald head for luck Saturday? Mate, if it helps, absolutely. But that means I've got to keep it open to the others as well. I can't be seen for any preferential. But there we go. Mike Cotton says, I'm slipping. I know, mate, I know. I even put a straw in so that it would be easier to drink it. Although it does actually slow me down, which I think is a deliberate ploy as well. But fear not, you know, normal things will resume soon. There we go. Joe Hathaway. First race in the hot hatches Saturday. I can't wait. I said that I thought you were, mate. Hopefully I'll get a chance to see you in the paddock then and just find out some information. I don't know anything. I saw you on the entry list and kind of went, oh, that's new on me. And the Renault Clio, a Class A Renault Clio at that as well. Car 199. So welcome, Joe, and I look forward to seeing it, mate, and I hopefully catch up with you. Tim Perry, one of our mighty Orange Army, says, good night, Dawsy. See you Saturday, one and all. Dilly dilly. Absolutely. Guys, have a wonderful rest of the week. Let's enjoy finals day at the end of what has been a wonderful, wonderful season. I'm going to give you this as a bit of a taster. Let me just check someone else. Joe Hathaway said, typo on the class. It's supposed to be in class F. Thank you, mate. I will. I'm going to do that right now. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. Class F. That has now been amended. But have a wonderful time. I'll see you on Saturday. I can't wait. Let's get us really excited. I'm going to leave you with this montage again. Good night, all.